All right, everyone, I'm getting a video for the guy, or well, if he doesn't get this transaxle from me, it's for other people who might be interested in. This is a Toro 5XI series garden tractor, rear axle with hydrostatic drive pump. I got this through an ad on Craigslist about 2013 or 2014. The ad was said Toro 522 XI project, and when I got there, I learned that the guy's wife, well, he had this unfinished tractor. That he was building. He lived out northwest of the Twin Cities in a suburb, I can't remember, somewhere out towards, out past Maple Grove or Elk River, somewhere out there. And the previous place he lived at in the Twin Cities, his neighbor was an engineer for Toro. And so he got this transaxle. He had a Toro 5XI front axle, steering cylinder, a bunch of hoses, a bunch of metal lines, a radiator. I don't know if the radiator was from the Toro 5XI prototype or not. Okay, right behind me, I have another video on YouTube, I think on my Boyd the Goofball channel, of this Toro 5XI prototype hood. This is what what he told me is this is the hood from the Toro 5XI prototype tractor. It's sitting upside down. There's my 520XI, here's my 520LXI parts tractor. There's my 522XI, and then there's my other 520LXI that I'm trying to fix the burned wires from. I got that in the summer of 2018. All right, back to this transaxle. So he had, the frame was homemade, but it was just one of where the wife said, get rid of it kind of situations. And so this transaxle, it was had Toro 5XI rear tires and wheels, front axle wheels and tires, tie rods. Didn't have a Toro 5XI frame. And then it came with the steering column, or the mechanical parts of the steering column, power steering, master and steering wheel. I got them in boxes back there, but I got it all for a fair sum. I don't remember exactly if he told me that his former neighbor, Toro engineer, if this came from the Toro 5XI prototype, or what. I live not far from Bloomington, where their main plant is what Toro does is they randomly take parts off the assembly line and they test them. Back in the 90s, I got a 60-inch deck that was, I think, for a 0 turn, and it was a Toro deck. And I got it from a guy on through the trading times. And he got it from his neighbor, who was a subcontractor, or a contractor that did some work at the Toro plant in Bloomington, Minnesota. Because the story that guy told me is they test the parts, and then they take these tested parts and put them on a scrap pile. And from the various people I've talked to over the years, I've talked to a few that says, yeah, I was in this Toro plant in Bloomington, and they have this scrap pile, and there's people on their way out. They stop and they just load something up and take it with them, whether it's employees or contractors. But anyway, so I took this project tractor apart. I still have part of the frame. There was like a water jet cut plate on each side. I still have those plates. Then the parts that went to the front with the front axle pivot, I believe I scrapped that about 5 years ago. So I have not seen this transaxle used. Okay, let me spin the fan. The fan blades are out of, see there, that one sticks out. So I have not, you know, when I got the project tractor, he had an engine, but he didn't have the engine on the frame. I had the option to buy the engine. It was brand new. I don't know if he sort of sourced it from Northern Tool or Small Engine Warehouse, or where he got it from, and I didn't have enough money to buy the engine from him, so I didn't get the engine. So this is the pickup hose. This is, I believe, a suction hose. That's a special hose. Wait, is that original? That's a braided one. That looks a little bit different than the standard hose that comes on the Toro 5XI series. I do have a video on my Boyd the Goofball channel showing a new hose from a Toro dealer. One still in the package with a part number on it. That one looks a little bit different, but you know, there's the filter. It's a good idea to replace the filter and that hose. I bought, I think it was 2018, I replaced that hose on my 520XI here. So let me spin this thing around. You know, so I've, you know, as soon as I got this, I brought it here to the barn, and it's been stored inside. I don't leave stuff sitting outside. I can't leave stuff sitting outside. That's one of the rules of having my stuff here. So anyway, you know, it's dusty, but I've never had it running. Let me spin. Spin it. Put the flashlight back. So I don't know. I really, you know, I'm not going to BS people and say I tested it or it has 0 hours or 2 hours or 200 hours, because I do not honestly know. I'm not into BSing people on stuff. So let's see. So the differential there, but I think that's the lever for the forward, neutral, reverse. And of course, there's the brake band right there. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, so doesn't leak any fluid. It can get very humid in this barn in the summertime. I've had stuff stored in this barn for almost 22 years now, so you know, she's dusty, but she's very heavy. It's a very, very heavy transaxle. I got my two-wheel dolly. This two-wheel dolly right there, when I move it around with that two-wheel dolly, that foot plate on it bends. But so I'm just gonna do this video instead of taking pictures. Almost need 3 hands to do pictures, but anyway, years ago, must have been, I don't know, 8-10 years ago, the second Toro 117 Groundsmaster that I parted out. I've parted out 3 of them now. I parted out the third one in the summer of 2020. the guy bought a hydrostatic drive pump and motor from it, and he was going to change a few things and put it on his, I think, 520XI or 522XI. I think that's an Eaton 11 or Eaton 1100 pump. I don't remember. But anyway, no, this is, I have not left this sitting outside. When I got that project tractor, he had it in the garage. But I've never been married, but one thing I would hate if I was ever married is if my wife did one of those get rid of it. Because I think that's kind of a game that some women do. But, you know, well, there's always the situation where a guy has too much stuff. Or a gal has too much stuff. Or your mom has too much stuff. Or your son or your daughter has too much stuff. Anyway, so that's the way, you know, everything spins. But I have never seen this thing operated. So I can't, you know, oh, what's that? What is that? Is that the hydro thing? I don't know. Don't remember. I have never taken one of these Transaxles out of a 5XI tractor. This is the... Okay, let me get over here. I got my 523 DXI parts tractor over in the other barn. I bought it last, I think, Labor Day. Would last me, it was Labor Day or or Memorial Day. I can't remember. I don't remember holidays very well, aside from, of course, Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Okay, putting my gloves on. This 520 LXI parts tractor, I went down to Janesville, Wisconsin to get it about 3 weeks ago. A little bit over 3 weeks ago. Anyway, so I got two parts tractors, and I got, this is the first one I bought, 520XI. It has manual steering. Everything else I have is power steering. So if I get this 520 LXI fixed and running and it runs good, probably going to sell the 520XI because it has manual steering. But this, I bought this one September 21 or 22 of 2012 and brought her home. These are heavy motors. Okay, let's, I'm going to turn over. I do have a video on my Boyd the Goofball YouTube channel of this Toro 5XI prototype hood. Okay, let me put the phone, prop the phone somewhere. Where did I put it? Anyway, maybe I'll just prop it right here. Well, how do I prop? Whatever. I'll just put the phone face down for a second and listen to my slow talking voice while I tip over this Toro 5XI hood. Okay. There's a hinge right there. That's got to be the front. Yeah, that's got to be the front. See, there's vents on there. I remember back in the 90s, I called on a, through the trading times, you know, people probably remember the trading times. I called a guy, I think in Bloomington, for something he had for sale. I had a great conversation with the guy. And then he says, well, his neighbor is a engineer for Toro. And he said one day, just a few weeks ago, he had the prototype Toro 5XI tractor in his backyard with a loader on it. And he was just digging around and experimenting with the loader. And I'm guessing, you know, there's a chance that this is the hood that came off that same tractor he was talking about. I don't know, maybe they had multiple prototype Toro 5XI tractors they were working on. I don't know, but I don't think this has a huge amount of value to it, but it's interesting for me. I started that I know of, the first Toro 5XI Facebook page, and I goofed up and I started it under the category of a business. Now the only person that can post on it is me, and I just started another Toro 5XI page, you know, buy, sell, trade. I just did that tonight, but this time I did it under the category of a group. But anyway, yeah, there's a tie down strap there, tie down strap there. You know, I'll use one of those rubber strap things, but there's a hinge on the front there. And anyway, I think it would be interesting someday to talk to one or more of the engineers that worked on designing the Toro 5XI series, which ended up being Toro's last garden tractor series they ever made. I don't know if, well, the 400 XT series was a continuation of the Toro 260 series. I don't remember what year that came out in, because that one had a beefier frame than the Toro 260 series. I believe it had a different transaxle than the Toro 260 series, which had a what was it? Was it a K61 tough torque or something? Under that mess right there, I have a Toro 266H tractor that I've been going to part out. It's either between dealing with Lyme disease or working. I just haven't gotten to it. But anyway, so, well, that's it. If you're seeing this video, don't ask me about just coming to see my stuff. I can't do that. It's just against the rules. Because I've had people, you know, call me up on ads and stuff I have for sale, and they say, "Oh, can I just stop over someday and look at your stuff?" And it's like, nope, sorry, I can't do that. So anyway, well, I think I've talked long enough. You know, Toro 5XI hood and that transaxle back there. So that is a Snapper SPA 360 commercial walk behind deck. That's a Snapper SPA 520 commercial walk behind deck. I got that, I don't know, 15 years ago. I was going to make a wing mower out of it or something. I haven't. Same thing with that one. I do have another one of those with the caster wheels. I was going to make into a wing mower, and I never finished it. You know, darn Lyme disease. It's been a pain in the ass for my life. But anyway. Okay, well, I've talked long enough. Thanks for watching. See ya. Bye.